Hi everybody, my name is Alex Turo. I'm the leader of the Green Party of Quebec, and we're here today at the Green Party of Quebec headquarters in Verdun to launch our 2022 election platform, the Green New Plan. And I'm happy to be here today with so many members of our team of dedicated and passionate candidates who are here today to offer Quebecers a progressive, federalist, and inclusive vision for the future of Quebec. The Green New Plan is the result of countless hours of work, of consultations, of research, and of policy development carried out by our team and I over the past 9 years. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank every person, every voter, every activist, and every organization that contributed to this platform by voicing your opinions and sharing your perspectives with my team and I here at the Green Party of Quebec. This platform is the blueprint for how Quebec can achieve our environmental objectives while increasing our quality of life, increasing our health, and increasing our collective prosperity. It's the way forward to a greener Quebec. It's the way forward to a Quebec that leads the way internationally in the fight against climate change, towards a Quebec that celebrates our diversity in all of its forms, towards a Quebec where everyday people are able to own their own homes and to build their families without financial hardship, where people are able to make ends meet, able to pay their bills, able to have children and send them to university, able to retire at age 65 without being forced to work, able to count on the public healthcare system to take care of you when you're sick, a Quebec where you're able to count on free mental health care when you need it, a Quebec where you're able to count on world-class public transit and active transit infrastructure that makes owning a car and making monthly payments unnecessary. A Quebec where we take care of one another, where we value and promote diversity, living together and sharing. A Quebec where we love one another, where we advocate for peace here and around the world. A Quebec where no one is left behind and where each individual is valued for their contribution to our society and to our collective well-being. The Green Party of Quebec is an eco-socialist party. Many people ask me, what is eco-socialism? Well, eco-socialism is about taking care of the environment and the population at the same time. It's about taking care of one another and the planet. It's about ensuring that we have access to quality public health care and quality education. It's about building a social safety net where no one is left behind. It's about solidarity. It's about inclusive identity politics. It's about ending the genocide towards Indigenous peoples. It's about saying no to new fossil fuel infrastructure, no to continuing the destruction of the environment, no to extractivism, no to the neoliberal economic policies that prioritize the economic interests of the 1%, of big business, and of multinationals over the interests and well-being of everyday people like you and me. It's about making sure that everyone has a place to live and call home. It's about making sure that everyone has access to healthy food, to clean water, and to breathable air. It's about making sure that future generations are able to survive without going to war for water to drink, for food to eat, or for oil to burn. It's about leaving future generations with something better, something they can build on rather than clean up. It's something that every people, every individual, and every community needs. A livable and peaceful planet. A planet that's free of nuclear weapons. A planet where war is a thing of the past. A planet where nations cooperate and negotiate. A planet united by the quest for the survival of each individual, of each species, of each language, of each culture, and of each identity. A planet where carbon neutrality is achieved by 2035, where our forests are protected, where our oceans can thrive, where biodiversity still exists, where the internet is a source of unity rather than hate, of solidarity rather than division, of peace rather than war. This is eco-socialism. This is the way forward. This is the future. For far too long, Quebec has been falling behind in the fight against climate change, falling behind on affordability, falling behind in the fight against racism and discrimination, falling behind on our healthcare system, falling behind on holding corporations responsible for their deadly emissions in Rouyn-Noranda and Quebec and across the province, falling behind on public transit, falling behind on our environmental objectives, falling behind and failing future generations across the board. While the planet burns and war rages on, François Legault is more interested in dividing people along linguistic, cultural, and racial lines than he is in the environment. More interested in focusing on what women and men wear on their heads or the language they speak, rather than recognizing their invaluable contributions to our society, to our healthcare system, to our schools, and to our police forces. A premier who is image obsessed, who is paternalistic and dishonest. A premier who allows corporations to kill people with their emissions. A premier whose COVID plan placed business interests over individual freedoms, a premier who utilized the public health crisis to abolish environmental protections, to reduce the working conditions of medical staff, and to appropriate new powers, and to break the contract that he signed with the Green Party of Quebec to reform the voting system. François Legault is asking Quebecers for a blank check in this election. He's talking tough against minorities, tough against the federal government, tough against First Nations, tough against anyone who does not agree with his right-wing exclusionary nationalism. He says that diversity is a threat to the survival of the nation, a threat to Quebec. He idolizes far-right scholars and nationalists while beating his chest over the supposed rights of people to say the N-word in schools. He's out of touch, disconnected from everyday Quebecers who want to live in an inclusive Quebec where people love rather than hate, where people build rather than tear down, where we collaborate rather than argue. With respect to First Nations, François Legault and his team have coerced communities into signing away their rights. He has allowed the genocide against First Nations to continue. He is even opposing the rights of First Nations to take care of their own kids by challenging Bill C-92 at the Supreme Court. The Liberals are no better. Their leader, Dominic Anglade, used to be the president of the CAQ. She supports nearly all of François Legault's policies and has turned her back on defending Quebec minorities by supporting Bill 96. Bill 96 will allow for warrantless searches and seizure of people's cell phones and computers in companies of 25 or more people, where the language police feel that a language other than French may have been used for internal communications. It's a racist law that targets minorities, that targets ethnic businesses and individuals. In this country, even if someone is suspected of murder, the police must obtain a warrant from a judge before searching their electronic devices. This law invokes the notwithstanding clause to subtract the entire thing from the most basic constitutional rights. It's systemic racism and discrimination on display. It was even supported by Quebec Solidaire, a party that's willing to make exceptions to most basic fundamental rights whenever it's a question of nationalism. A party that campaigns on left-wing principles that, if elected, would immediately push this aside and instead work with right-wing nationalists to hold a third referendum on independence. Even worse, their program now calls for acts of rupture with the federal government before a referendum would even be held. It's undemocratic and unnecessary. Contrary to QS, the Green Party of Quebec's platform is entirely realizable within the current constitutional framework. And if elected, our first priority will be implementing our platform, the Green New Plan, rather than breaking apart the country, dividing people, and building borders with Ontario and New Brunswick. At a time when the housing crisis is throwing people into the street, into their parents' basements, or onto their friends' couches, we need to take action now. Many people are being forced to pay over 50% of their income towards housing. It's insanity. Landlords are getting rich while everyday people are working overtime trying to make ends meet. All of the other parties are proposing band-aid solutions, policies that in certain cases have merit, but that will not solve the basis of the problem or give people the opportunity to own their own apartments. And that's why the Green Party of Quebec is announcing today a radical new housing policy that goes much further than any other party. A housing policy that reduces the role of capitalism in the housing market while giving people the financial leverage they need to be able to own their own homes. If elected, the Green Party of Quebec would make it illegal for any individual or corporation to own more than 10 rental units. Everything beyond the 10 units would be expropriated. Owners would be compensated at pre-pandemic value, and the housing would become property of a new Crown corporation named Habitation Québec. The people who live in the apartments would have two options. They could either buy their unit for the price that the government paid for it, or they could continue to rent, but with option to buy. That way, people who rent for years will be able to accumulate capital, will be able to own their own homes after paying so much rent, able to live debt-free in quality apartments that they can call home free of interest payments. This plan is revenue neutral as people are already paying rent. It's about using the means at the disposal of the state to ensure that people are not slaves to landlords and to roll back the unfair consolidation of real estate holdings by wealthy individuals and big corporations. People should be able to own their own homes, and the Green Party of Quebec and the Green New Plan have the vision and the determination to make it happen. We are the ones who can deliver this change. We're proposing a bold vision for both the environment and for social justice, for all species, for all individuals, and for all communities. We want to reduce waste. We want to build a circular economy. We want to expand public transit and make it free. We want high-speed rail. We want infrastructure to treat wastewater and turn it into renewable energy. We want solar power, geothermal, and wind. We want to reduce consumption. We want to eliminate single-use plastic, disposable beverage containers, and throwaway packaging. We want to protect forests, ecosystems, marine wildlife, lakes, wilderness, animals, and nature. We want to reduce our consumption of animal products by 50% over 10 years because we understand the role that excessive animal agriculture is playing in the pollution of our lakes and waterways here in Quebec. We understand the impact that this industry is having on the climate, on deforestation, and on people's health. We want to give people the tools, the knowledge, and the resources we need to make healthy and sustainable choices. Now, we need to rebuild the public healthcare system by increasing its capacity, by training and hiring more doctors and nurses, by saying no to privatization, by saying no to budget cuts, no to working conditions and pay scales that leave medical professionals looking for work outside of the province. We need to improve the efficiency of the system, and that's why the Green Party of Quebec is proposing to create a new Ministry of Efficiency whose first mandate would be modernizing and streamlining the healthcare system. We need to build up our public healthcare system so that we can take care of seniors, so we can take care of our parents, our children, our friends, and our family. We need to do this without wasting money on profits and without allowing private corporations to become the owners of our hospitals and clinics. We need universal dental care so that each and every one of us can get the care that we need. With all the wealth that we have here in Quebec, there is no reason that people should have to extract rather than fix their teeth. We have the means to take care of one another. We have the means to care. We have the means to live in dignity, to take care of seniors, to take care of handicapped people, and to take care of children through quality public services. In this election, the Green Party of Quebec is the real progressive and environmental option. We have the vision, the policies, the team, and the leadership to drastically transform Quebec society and the government of Quebec. Now, while some may question our ability to break through in a flawed democratic system, in a sensational media environment that limits our visibility and favors the status quo, I say this. People are seeking change and will eventually give up on the big parties, on big capitalism, and on the status quo. The priorities of the Green Party of Quebec are more in line with the priorities of Quebecers than any other party. We are the option for real, meaningful, and profound change. We have never compromised, never accepted oil money, never made deals with the industry, never been corrupted, never been bought or sold. We are the original environmental party, the real Green Party. We are here to propose major changes in Quebec society, changes that everyone can get behind, changes that will position our province as a leader on the international stage, changes that will help people out, that will support people, that will make life more fair, more livable, and more affordable, less stressful and more joyful. Joyful because we'll take care of the environment, because we'll lift hundreds of thousands of people out of poverty. Joy because we'll give land back to First Nations, end the genocide, and share power by giving each one of the 11 nations in this province seats in the National Assembly. Joy because we are taking our future into our hands, looking out for future generations and leaving them something to build on. We are the party of the future. We are the party of change. We are the voice of the people. Long live Quebec, long live the Green Party of Quebec, long live the Green New Plan.